Okay, and we're back with another Suzerain. So the thing is, yesterday we played with them the prologue. Okay, basically in the beginning of chapter one, we as Anton Reyes managed to become the president of Sordland. Okay, and like we've inherited quite a trouble, government. Okay, with the fact that Sordland right now is going through a recession. Not to mention that Sordland, there's also like, I don't want to use this, but like there's a secret group of people, basically a cabal old guard, holding the country from progress. Okay, so with that said, okay, let's see if we can improve the country. So first off, I would always suggest to check out the reports. Increasing unemployment. The number of people filing for unemployment in Morna continues to rise as the recession continues. The change in economic condition is historic and stunning in speed, said the mayor of Morna. In the aftermath of the crisis of 1951, the unemployment rate in Morna rose to 9% in the following year. The last 6 months have almost erased all gains in employment over the last 2 decades. Ooh, that's terrible. Oh well. Let's check out the rest about the reports so that it will help us inform our decision. Promising agricultural growth. For the first time in 3 years, the agricultural output of Sarna has increased. Many experts link the increased output to both a drop in temperature and the new farming practices that have been adopted in recent years. Additionally, farmers are now accessing more generous credit allowances from the government. Of course, Avery. From the government that were left over from the Alfonso administration. The Ministry of Agriculture reports that the region's agricultural industry has the potential to become powerhouse in the future if investment persists. Might consider putting some money in it. The recession led to a reduction in rail assets, with more than a fifth of the railway network itself antiquated, being mothballed in the recent years. While the main lines of the railway network are currently in service, increasing demand in goods and from Gelsord from the capital is pushing the network to its limits. The rail signaling system in the region dates from the middle of the last century and is also in need of improvement. I think like this one we have to improve. There's no doubt about it. Infrastructure report. The recent collapse of tourism in Langkirk has led to a reduction in trade traffic maintenance. Oh, I just noticed one thing. Give me a second. Okay. The road network is currently in service but is in need of substantial improvement. Ports, country roads, and bridges similarly suffer from a lack of investment. Firms doing business in Langkirk report a significant shortage of warehousing facilities, particularly refrigerated facilities, with implications both for the transportation system and the ability to serve population's basic food and health needs. My priority, okay, like that, the priority would be Gelsord, then the agriculture here in Sarna, and then Langkirk. But it's best to like not use the budget all at once, okay? We are in pretty good standing, and the economy is like, not that great. Which one should I check out first? Media or media strategy? Why not? Lucian and Peter arrived at my office to talk about recent development and the media strategy. They both took their seats across from me. Lucian put on his reading glasses and quickly went over some documents. Peter turned to Lucian and nodded. Greetings, gentlemen. I just have received further information from the interior about the sudden fire that broke out in Horsford State University archives nearby. Tell me more. The initial report from the Horsford police chief indicate a potential arson case. See, I told you. I told you, like, there's no way, like, it can happen out of the blue. In accordance to the further suspicion, the Saudis Intelligence Directorate has been called. Is the SID really necessary for this? Why would anyone hit the archives of a university in the first place? I see no logical motive here. It seems like the chief suspects a foreign sabotage. They inform us that a large section of the archive has been destroyed. It included tens of thousands of our globally recognized research documents in original by the great thinkers of our people. We need to support our education system to make new discoveries for the future. It's a shame so much knowledge has lost. To Peter's point, while all three are good, without a doubt, it's a shame. I feel like 2 is already stating the obvious. 3? Yeah, I think 3 is the best. Like, to further strengthen our resolve in it. Yeah, I think 3 is the best. We need to support our education system to make new discovery for the future. Preserving our knowledge is as important as in spending on it. It is interesting that the employee records have been destroyed as well. Luckily, most originals have copies in their other universities and some international libraries. My favorite book's original, The Geopolitics of Sordland by Herman Aqua, was destroyed. Like I said, number 1 is not bad. Okay, it is a pity, but maybe using this to like, because remember, one of our it is a bit too expansionist, but think about it. Our main promise when we made is to improve education. Like, this is like a chance to like another reason, using it as wow, if there is a choice that say we need to protect it, I would have chosen it. But at least Lucian, he knows the importance of protecting as well. Maybe it was just an accident. We do have the copies of most important works, and so no single fire can eradicate our knowledge. I also see no point in destroying employee records either. Maybe we need to be careful about, somebody who's going to, mask themselves as an employee of the university. More importantly, Lucian mentioned Marcel Coranti contacted him. The Corantis had always been known as one of the richest and most influential family in Sordland. Marcel Coranti was no exception. He was the oldest son of Conrad Coranti, the industrialist and media mogul who founded HOS, the richest man in the entire of Sordland. HOS is Heart of Sordland, multi-industry corporation with tens of billions of SR, and is part of the Big Four companies in Sordland. They are involved in many industries, but only have a monopoly in media industry through the ownership of Sordland Today and Sordland Broadcasting Corporation. They are really heavily involved in radio, television, and advertising sectors. It was founded by Conrad Coranti. Okay, so this guy's the parent died. Lucian turned to me. He has offered to meet with you, Mr. President. Why is Conrad sending his son? What a coincidence! He unfortunately passed away today. After the passing of his father, may he rest in peace, Marcel aims to become the next CEO of HOS conglomerate. He mentioned a productive collaboration. They are a powerful and influential media conglomerate. To start with, they own Sordland Today newspaper, the Swedish Broadcasting Corporation, which means it would be wise to have them by our side. Sorry for interrupting. Yeah. What does this productive collaboration entail? He did not wish to explain the details over the phone, but rather in person. I believe I'll be receiving a call from him sometime soon. However, as Peter said, they have substantial power over the content on media outlets. Headlines, radio show, this is what he will be offering. What he wants in return is what we need to understand. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, we need to determine our general approach to the media. I'm no media expert, but Lucian made some interesting arguments at the preparation meeting yesterday. There are two ways we can approach the media. One of them is by influencing it, which has clear advantages. The other one is keeping it independent. Okay. Now, if I say one, it's gonna make it harder. You know, if it's independent, it's gonna make it harder for us to gain support. But if it's just being a tool, then what's the difference of it being a propaganda machine? But then again, if I use it, what are the chances in the future that it's gonna fall into the wrong hands? Okay, I mean, like after we step down. So media must be independent. Ideally, yes, but an unpopular leader will not be able to pass even the easiest reforms. It is of the utmost importance to maintain public popularity and avoid any damaging scandals or mistakes. I must stress one thing, Mr. President. The more people we have supporting our agenda, the more we can accomplish. With someone on our side in an influential media organization, we can do this very easily. While this is just between us, it's not affecting much. I see where you're getting at. Two wrongs don't make a right. I share your opinion. Yeah, because like I say, the reason why the last administration failed is not, well, without a doubt, the old guards blocked him, but he didn't have any support, you know, from media or something. Okay, so he can't. If he has support of the media, maybe he can brush past the old guards. So I see where you're getting at. I agree with Lucian, but why the assumption there will be scandals and mistakes? We can always hope for the best, but do we really think that nothing can go wrong? Especially considering the very recent history of Sordland. Two knocks were heard on the door. Who is it? It's Livia, Mr. President. Livia? As a private secretary of President Rayne, she is tasked with directly handling the most critical calls, scheduling and paperwork for the President. Suno had previously worked at Swedish Airlines headquarters as the secretary of the director before starting her work for the United Sordland Party National Committee in 1953, where she was assigned to assist Peter Vectorn, who was organizing support for the presidential nominee Anton Rayne. After Rayne's successful election, Sunos began serving as the personal secretary of Rayne in Rayne's office at the Maroon Palace. It's Livia, Mr. President. Livia Suno, my new secretary, entered the office. Her dark curls bounced as she crossed the room to my desk. She spoke with a slight lilt in her voice. Excuse me, Mr. President. Mr. Galate's secretary has been calling me and wanted me to relay a message. Marcel Coronti, the new CEO of HOS Conglomerate, is on the line from Mr. Galate. Just as we were talking about him. Well, the ball is in our court right now. Would you like to talk to him, sir? Or would you like me to? You go ahead, connect the line to my office. Well, basically no choice. I'll talk to him. Connect the line to my office. Right away, sir. Connecting the call to line 1. Livia left the room and the phone started ringing. Pick up the phone. I pick up the phone. Let's look. We take a look at him yesterday. It's a pleasure, Mr. Coronti. Like, hello Marcel is just a bit too much. It's a pleasure, Mr. Coronti. The pleasure is all mine. I know your time is valuable, so I will not waste it. I was just elected CEO of HOS. My strategy in the running of this conglomerate will be different from my father's approach. This is why I am offering a partnership deal regarding our media branch. I would like to formally invite you to my resort near Conrad for a meeting to discuss the details. What does that entail? Our future as partners, Mr. President. Surely we can talk about the details on the phone. I just wish to have a face-to-face conversation with you. Yeah. Favors. I will send you the details through my secretary if you are interested. Okay, I'll be interested in a meeting. You will not be disappointed, I promise. Well then, I will let you return to your pack schedule. See you later, Mr. President. I'll pop it. See you later, Mr. Coronti. Because we are gonna meet him later. I hung the phone. I'll set things right up. Expect a worthwhile meeting next month. It's settled then. Looking forward to the next month. I wonder if he has a pool. Lucian looked at his watch. It appears we're done for today. We'll continue where we left off later. Thank you for your time. Oh, good work with Marcel. Keep it up. Lucian and Peter nodded before gathering their documents and leaving my office. We were already getting the attention of key figures and potentially dangerous ones. For that, let's check any more reports. Ooh, I just noticed. I haven't checked the news. Okay, let's check the news. Sordland today. Suspicious fire ravaged HSU. Our greatest quest of knowledge should have been protected better. Yeah, this guy is true. Conrad Coronti passed away. Okay. That's how he became the CEO. The new assembly begins duty. President Rayne has been elected for president. Kesaro Kibner, the head of the National Front Party, is in the third place with just over 11%. Kesaro Kibner? He looks pretty evil to me. Workers' Party. The new term begins. PFJP, NFP, and USP government. Support in the assembly grows for campaign finance bill. Oh, this one we read yesterday. Glamorous inaugural ball. Also, elite gathers for lavish state ball. Many citizens in the country are uncertain about their future, about their own future, but the state has no problem with wasting taxpayers' money from the start. We demand this tradition of wasteful nature will become a thing of the past once the president settles in. The team here at the Radical will keep fighting for a better, more equal for all. Remember, the Radical always is a bit of a negative. Okay, they will very skeptic and stuff. Economists restructure the infrastructure. This is basically like a lot of the oligarchs had their hand in this paper. Geopolitical. Sordland's regional trade. As the Rayne administration starts its first term, there is a question in all our head. What would the regional international trade policy be? Due to strategic geopolitical location of Sordland, historically, Agnolia and Westland have been natural trading partners. Depending on the direction of Rayne administration, we think it is likely that a new trade deal will be brokered with at least one of these partners in the near term. All in all, regardless of which trading partners the administration decides to go with, one thing for sure, regional trade will boost the ailing economy. The real question is, does Voxland or Lesbia think of what does Voxland or Lesbia think about Sordland? Yeah. So like I say yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, so Vogsland, and what just now? Vogsland and Lesbia. Vogsland? Where's Lesbia? Oops. Where's Lesbia? Here. If you ask me, it's better to go with Lesbia because Lesbia is just next to us. Like building, good relationship with our neighbors is number one. Let's go here. Invest in mega infrastructure. A decision to invest in one of two mega infrastructure projects. The Ministry of Economy has put forward two bold plans for mega infrastructure projects that would help with the economic recession in the long term. Investing in projects of this scale will take up some portion of our budget, but could prove worthwhile if accomplished successfully. This one is our main port of the country, so yeah, we should invest. Government budget decrease. Discussion of potential infrastructure projects. The view towards Marken Sea from Lack Haven was nothing short of exquisite. The seaside state residence, fittingly named Blue Mansion, was large, fine, and accommodating. But enjoying luxurious mansion wasn't the main reason for our visit. We gathered the economic team here to discuss the new infrastructure investment project. Half an hour had already passed since the start of the meeting. Unfortunately, I did not even have the chance to have my usual afternoon coffee. Looking at the view from the windows, I let my mind drift for a couple of seconds. Simon's voice brought me back into the ongoing discussion. Mr. President, we need to focus on boosting the economy as quickly as possible. One of the fastest ways is to achieve this through infrastructure projects. What can we focus on? On the one hand, businessmen are complaining about the slow logistical rail between Holsworth and Lack Haven. Lilia started talking as soon as Simon took a breath. On the other hand, citizens are criticizing the lack of proper highway connection between Lack Haven and Arbury. The narrow roads by the seaside are not only dangerous but also difficult to traverse. We need to pick the most profitable option for economic growth. I know it's dangerous, but with the more if we spend on more profitable one, then later down the line we can make more room for the people. We need to pick the most profitable option for the economic growth. Remember, the economy is still in a recession, which obviously connecting our two most economically powerful cities. It is not the business people that suffer, but the ordinary folk. What really matters, though, is that we can accomplish something tangible in your first economic act. We must prove our administrative capability. People must know that this administration can get things done. It must improve the economy of the nation and bring it out of the recession. Well, both of this is roughly the same. Just the messaging. If I say two, we're just gonna focus on the economy. If I go for one, then be like, hey, they might not focus on us first, but maybe in the next one. Yeah, the people must know that this demonstration can get things done. Therefore, I define two important projects for your attention: the H3 Highway Project and the L1 High-Speed Railway Project. Mr. Hall repositioned himself on the chair to take a more comfortable posture. Simon Hall. Okay, the ministry can only support one project at a time with the current capacity and budget. Let's move on to the details of each. So which one do you want to hear first? Let's hear the highway first. No, it's okay because there's a delay for you know, for the streaming as well. There's no way that it can be done in like a second. So like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 3 to 5 seconds delay. So like 3 to 5 seconds delay to you, and then like when you want to type, so like roughly like within less than 10 seconds. This one is just to hear about it. We haven't made the decision. You just say which one do you want to hear first. The highway project. The H3 project aimed to improve the abysmal state of road in the network of Angland region bordering Agnolia. The area is home to several million of Agno Sordish, and Sordish who feel neglected. There are no proper highway connections to and from Angland. The mayor of Avery, Eric Neal, has been asking for a bigger budget to develop the regional infrastructure. He told us that even trucks are having a hard time traveling through the main roads. The increased traffic is causing trouble for the people commuting in and out of the region. I agree this could... we can't leave the request of Eric Neal, a party member, unanswered. There must be a cumbersome for the citizen. I agree this could also hurt the local businesses. Not sure if this region is a priority for us right now. Now, I want to help. Well, the best answer here is I think it will be 3. Will also hurt the local businesses. It is. Bless their souls. I'm happy to think we are thinking alike on the matter. Let's take a more detailed look on the upgrade proposal. Look at the map. Lilius was pointing at Lackhaven. Most messages are like a minute and 10 seconds to type for me. I'll try to like slow down when it comes to like maybe the important decisions, like greetings and minor stuff. Like just now, it says like just now when I think that most of them are the same, or like the choices are quite obvious. I'll go a bit faster. Lydia's was pointing at Lackhaven. The H3 highway starts from here and leads to Lankirk. Here to Lankirk. Yeah, but Lankirk is not a big... Lankirk is not a big hub. Maybe a mid-sized city? Well, I think this is a city, this is like a middle-sized town. So I don't think that it's really that helpful. But it's helpful, but not too much to the economy. From there it goes to Avery. From here to Avery. As a result, the road network towards Agnolian capital and Starport will be improved substantially. She paused and leaned forward in her chair. I saw the central government continuously neglect the Agno-Sordish dominated regions when I was mayor. Is this administration going to continue that kind of negligence? We should no longer neglect a key region for our trade with Agnolia. If we do this, we're gonna improve our relationship with Agnolia on the north. We should make Agno-Sordish be respected as swords like all of us. It makes a little sense to put investment in such remote region. Yeah, number 2 is like the most the one that may gain most favor. I am for all Sordish citizens without separation or preference, therefore we should think about the country overall. It has to be pointed that the highway would be less beneficial in the near term. I have to disagree. It will increase the speed of transportation throughout the region. Our citizens will be quite pleased if we successfully accomplish this. Besides, if we enter trade talks with Agnolia, this would see the... I like talking and debating against choices, about choices. So this one here, if there's no talks about Agnolia, then I would have ignored it. But with this we might, because remember, like if I'm not mistaken, yesterday we read something like Agnolia, refused to like help us because they didn't see any much improvement in infrastructure. I want to hear the other project first. Railway project. Your predecessor, Alfonso, has failed to deliver on this campaign promise, but now we have the opportunity to start the construction of a groundbreaking railway project. As you know, our current trains cannot meet the standards of today. As many other countries adopt this electric engine technology to power up their trains, we fall one step behind. News about the new electric trains in United Contana has piqued the business interest. They too want to transport resources material from Holsworth to Lakehaven with great speed and efficiency. Agreed, we must obtain the high quality technology of superpowers. This could also empower the business and bring investments. Major cities of Sordland need infrastructure to support their growing population. I think I want him to explain a bit further, because without a doubt, number one, that's not really it. 2 and 3 are really good. This could empower the business and bring investment, and major cities of Sordland needs more infrastructure to support their growing population. I'm not fully convinced yet. Please explain further. Let's see what his his reasoning for this is. Our plan is to upgrade the L1 line from Holsworth to Lakehaven. It will transform into high-speed rail. Look at the map. Gus was pointing at Holsworth while Simon was looking attentively. The planned construction starts right here at the capital. It will go to Enrica first, then connect to Gelsord. After it will reach Lakehaven, the economic powerhouse. The L1 significance boosts the economy on the newly linked cities and even rural areas in between. Lakehaven is our primary port, so the goods and unloaded will be transported to Holsworth much faster. We should link these rural areas in the middle of the major cities of Sordland. I believe yes, I think link these rural areas in the middle with the major cities of Sordland. We are talking about the wealthiest regions and forgetting the Angland, which needs it more. The mayor of Enrica, Curtin Leste, also requested this project to be prioritized. Businessmen in the region will be content, which increases the investment and employment. Therefore, I recommend the L1 high-speed rail project. I've settled on the decision. Okay, here comes the trouble. What will be your final choice, Mr. President? Okay. Okay. So without a doubt, highway, I think maybe it's gonna increase the economy. Without a doubt. Okay. But that was about the high speed. Okay, high speed rail project. Okay. If we improve our major cities, it will help financially. But for the highway, I think that's what we should do. Okay, because we can improve our relationship with another country, and they say that with that they might be interested in trade, more trade. Can I bring up the news? Okay. Geopolitical. Okay. As Rayne Emissary starts its first term, due to the strategic geopolitical location, historically Agnolia and Wexland have been natural trading partners. Depending on the direction of Rayne's administration, we think it is likely that a new trade deal will be broken in at least one of these partners in the near term. 2. This could really nudge our relationship with our citizens in the positive territory. 2 is the high-speed rail project, which is only benefiting the major cities. Without a doubt, major cities, the poorer people are less visible this early on. But the biggest reason that I feel like we should make remember, this is the rail project. Number 2 is rail project. Number 1 is a highway that connects for the rural area. Now, that one doesn't help much. But the fact that we what I'm thinking is like this. This area here is like the Anglo-Swordish area, okay, which is, they feel marginalized. In other words, like, they are not low class minority in their view, but they're still considered as like maybe a second class citizen compared to real Swordish. So without a doubt, if we do that, we're gonna gain their approval in the next election, okay? And not to mention, we're gonna improve trading partner with the nearby state, okay? And they also mentioned that if we improve this, then later they're gonna like have more become our trade partners, and then later we're gonna have, you know, indirectly boost our economy. So that's why I'm thinking of going for highway project. Like I say, if it's not because of that, I would not choose number 1. So yeah, high-speed rail project. I really want to, if possible, I want to do both, if possible. Okay, so I decided on making highway project. Okay, like I say, remember that we are trying to remain neutral, okay, and giving reasons for states around us to attack us, and it's not really a smart choice. So yeah, diplomatically, this is the best. So I'm gonna choose one. I've decided on highway project to improve the infrastructure in poorer regions. Like, remember, we don't have any help. We are not aligning ourselves to the capitalist or to the socialist side, which makes it harder. Thank God, I knew that you would see reason. The negotiation will begin in the middle of this year. You will be able to award the contract to a corporation of your choice. The ministry estimates that the entire construction will finish in 2 years if every step going forward is executed successfully. Thank you all for your contribution and thoughts. Good. Is there anything else? This should be all, Mr. President. See you soon, Mr. Rayne. Have a nice day, Mr. President. Evening settled on the beautiful coastline of Lakehaven. Okay, we are making a highway. I hope that after 2 years that, you know, I hope the economy goes well, and we can make the railway as well. So I can say that if everything goes well, Agnolia would be a stronghold for us in the next election. I'm not only thinking about that, like, that's like the indirect, like, the main reason I'm doing that is that for us to like quickly settle with Agnolia and get some help from them, economic wise. Anything else? Let's check. Okay, no. Okay, let's go. Ooh. Okay, read the report from Hallsort. Party Committee Report. The Reform Committee reports that any potential change to the Constitution in the direction of the reformists will likely result in the strong opposition from the National Front Party. The members of the Assembly in support of such direction seem to be in great numbers and possibly make up the majority of Grand National Assembly, while most members of the United Sordland Party seem reluctant about supporting such changes. In other words, like, if we completely go with the reform, I do reform, like I say, but I think we need to hash it out, because if we accept, like, think about it, if we accept their ideas head on, then later say in the election they're gonna say, hey, we managed to get our things done. But even to like say, hey, I agree to it, but the point is, they are the one who spearheaded it. So like they're gonna take the momentum from us. So of course I'm gonna for reforms, but I want to be able to like take control of the, you know, in order to lead the thing. Okay. And if I go for it, then I'm going to lose probably like my reign in my own party. SI8 joins HSU fire investigation. Further investigation by the police department revealed a potential arson case with no identified suspect yet. The police chief of Horsort has voiced concern about suspected sabotage by a foreign nation, inviting Saudis Intelligence Directorate in the investigation to expand the investigation. The area is cordoned from the public to discover further evidence. Okay. Campaign Finance Bill. Sign or veto the Electoral Campaign Finance Bill that was approved by the Grand National Assembly. The criteria for allocation of the public funds shall no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election by a political party. The new criteria shall be the proportion of the seats won by a political party in the assembly. Political parties shall receive an annual amount of 500,000 rand per member of assembly. This resulting in a doubling of USB election budget and a slight increase in the other parties in the assembly, while effectively removing all funding from parties that are below 10% threshold. Okay. From what I can see from here, is that we're gonna give a fighting chance to the minority party, okay? And with this, like if I veto it, it's gonna. If I veto this, this is gonna be like how should I say this? We're gonna gain the upper hand because main point is no longer be according to the number of votes won in the general election by a political party. Now, political overview, faction. I think that we can see, yeah, this much here. Okay, so the USB, our party, okay, is 130. So we gain more. We're gonna get more if we veto it. In other words, like we return. In other words, we are still maintaining the same. But remember, we say that we're gonna bring change. If we're gonna bring change, we have to sign it. Okay, like to actually give credence to our to give credence to our reign. But it's gonna be a bit harder for us. But at least like with this, I don't want to like chip everything away. In terms of like their trust in us. So in other words, I think it's best if I signed it. Voter turnout for the other party. Okay, we could increase your voter turnout if the other party, if you only aim towards supporting the goals of ours. Which problem? Sorry for the delay there. Yeah. That's okay. For the other party, if you only aim towards supporting the goals of ours, which could really suck me like. Like I said, the biggest problem will probably be the minorities. So this is the overview. This part here. It's gonna give them a fighting chance. I hate this. Judiciary. Okay. I think we should sign it. Yeah, I think we should. So that we keep to our. If this early on, like like they see, oh my god, he's already backing up on his promises so early on. So yeah, it's fine. Well, avoiding the war, that's why like I go for the highway. Okay, so like Agnolia won't attack us, and like more reason for us to be, you know, like friends. Anything? Oh, news. For coup, I think like unless we piss off the military. USP hijacked election. A new law that further expands the unfairness of our election system has been approved by the Grand National Assembly and was assigned to law. I think I like reading it radical. You know, like they really show the extreme of our actions. The insane law also resulting in the governing Sordland party's share from the fund as to double. As Anton Rayne presidency begin, we at the Radicals are already smelling the rot in Hallford. I'm giving everybody a fair chance. Electoral funding reform. Okay. Franz Richter, who objected to the funding package saying it contained too much unfairness in the allocation of the budget, also sought to delay proceedings by demanding a formal recorded vote, but was overruled. The new law brings small changes to the criteria of the allocation to the campaign budget, and introduced no changes to the total amount of public funds reserved for the political parties, which stands at 100 million SR. We're giving the minority a chance as well. Invents its Arcasian company stocks, an opportunity to buy stock from Arcasian company. A personal investment opportunity has been relayed by Mr. Manger. An experienced stockbroker in Ventry City, Acacia is selling valuable shares of Armadine Industries. An upcoming electronics manufacturing, we could invest or let the opportunity pass. Like this guy is a great manager, so like spend our own personal wealth. I think this is gonna be a great investment. Personal wealth decrease, no money for ourselves. Hopefully we come back. Reception at the inaugural ball. The residence of the President of Sordland, Hallford. I had just finished buttoning up my suit jacket when the doorbell rang. The presidential guard had arrived to pick us up for the inaugural ball. The ball was a 3-decade tradition, breathlessly anticipated by politicians, bureaucrats, and the press. All eyes were about to be on me. I called Monica to get the children ready. Looking at the mirror, I straightened my tie and took a deep breath. After tonight, there'll be no turning back. Suddenly, Diana hugged me from behind, and startling with me a little. Monica had fixed her hair in an elaborate braid, woven through with ribbons. Papa, Mama, Mama told me it's time to go. Hello darling, I'm ready. Where's your brother? Tell your mother I'll be ready soon. Stroke her hair. Yeah, I think it's like number 1 is best. Okay, I'm ready. Where's your brother? I think Frank is still upstairs. She shrugged. It's almost time to leave. The big ball was starting in less than an hour. Now where's my first lady? Darling, Frank, it's time. Like, second is like yelling. Monica, Frank, enough fussing around, let's move on. Now where's my first lady? It's best. Monica came down the stairs. She was wearing a simple, like, the reason I choose one is like to show respect, like, you know, to be romantic a bit. She was wearing a simple yet elegant beige sheath dress and short heels. Her hair was neatly pinned into shame and showing off the pearl earrings I had given her for our 15th anniversary. All those years she stayed by my side. Now, we were about to begin the most challenging chapter in our lives. How do you do, Mr. President? Kiss her hand, embrace her, just stand there and look at her. Of course! Hug her. I put her into a deep embrace. Monica, my love, you look as gorgeous as the day we married. Now that's the charm that got you elected. Frank trudged down the stairs. This thing itches. Frank tugged at the collar of his new tuxedo. He seems ill at ease. Are you good to go, Frank? I'm glad to have you with us for this big night. Don't make me wait again. Are you good to go, Frank? More like a dad moment. Yeah, the sooner we go, the sooner it'll be over, right? Papa, are these people going to be around us from now on? She pointed at the presidential guards at the door of the house. Yes, Sordland's most important family needs extra protection. Unfortunately, yes, they can't leave outside until my term ends. You get used to it. These people are our friends, Deanna. So this one, I think I'll go with 3. Like if I say 1, like, we're just too pompous. 2 will just be like, I gotta deal with this. But if we go with 3, like, then maybe like they'll get used to like become more closer to them. It's alright, baby. You're here to make sure nothing bad happens to you, to your papa, or his family. Monica held Diana's hand. Together, flanked by the guards, we walk out the door. Halfway to the car, Frank stopped abruptly and turned towards me. Dad, do I really have to go? Couldn't I stay home instead? I'm nervous myself, Frank, but I feel a lot more confident with my son by my side. That's a dad moment there. It's a party throne for me. Don't you want to support your father? Too arrogant. You love it, son. I'm sure there'll be plenty of girls to dance with. Don't make me angry, Frank. So like, why the 1 or 3? But I think like, hey, dad mode on. Frank smiled reluctantly. Well, when you put it that way, sure, let's go. Yep, it seems like that's the best choice. Probably. The presidential guard showed us the way as red and blue lights flashed around us. Sergey, my driver, ushered us into our armored limousine. The motorcade started moving towards the palace. I gazed out of the window and deep in thought. Anton, what are you thinking about? Nothing, nice car, isn't it? With all that's been happening, I wonder if I made the right choice. I was thinking we've come a long way together, haven't we? Wait, before that. Why is it shining? The FP band. New bill. Okay, this is what just now. Current situation. The recent electoral funding will pass by the government. Cut public funding. So just now what we signed, it's unfair to us. I thought it's gonna be good for everybody. Okay. Well, let's leave that for a while. 1 is out. 1 is out. Like 2 is that we are doubting ourselves. But if I go with 3, and like, you know, Monica is gonna like say, yeah, we've been together a lot, and we'll do more great things. Yes, we have, and there's still so much that we can accomplish side by side. Just remember, no matter what happens, the children and I will always be there for you. I'm going to help Papa fix everything. Frank rolled his eyes. I know you will, honey. We'll see, darling. This means a great deal to me. Let's just enjoy the night. Stay silent. If I say we'll see, darling, it's a bit more passive-aggressive. 3 is just too detached. 4 is very cold. So I think like the best for me is 2. This means a great deal to me. After what seemed just like a few minutes, the convoy slowed to a halt. Sergei rolled down the limousine's soundproof partition. We are here, sir. Hope you enjoyed the drive. I did, Sergei. Thank you. Much appreciated. How are you today? Nod. I think number 2. How are you today? You know, my entire family voted for you. Woo! Good to know, Sergei. Thank you. You and your family, and I'm here with all your support. 1 is a bit too cool. I'm here with all your support, or I won't let your family down, Sergei. Both of them means the same, but I'm not sure. We'll try not to let you down, but thank you for you and your family. I'm here with all your support. No reason to thank me, sir. You are the one who sparked a glimmer of hope in all of us. Sergei opened the door for me. The normally imposing palace was festooned with garnished banners that nearly made it look cheerful. A line of shiny luxury sedans stretched around it. Politicians, bureaucrats, celebrities, the creme de la creme of the Sordland elite seemed inside the building. Good luck out there, Mr. President. I'll see you on the trip home. Goodbye. Okay, I'll see you on the trip home. I stepped out and immediately found myself surrounded by loud voices and camera flashes. Hordes of eager journalists thrust their portable microphones my way. Give me a second. My phone rang a bit just now. Oh. It's nothing. My guards fended most of them, but one woman managed to dodge them and corner me. I recognized the Swedish broadcasting logo on her press lanyard. Mr. President, do you plan on working together with the opposition parties on the expected constitutional reforms? My administration will bring real change. This is the night for celebration. I'm not going to talk about policies now. If the opposition is willing to support us, we are going to work with everybody. Like, we need to assert that we are in charge. Okay? Like, control the messaging. Like, I think number 1 is like to strengthen that, hey, we are in charge of making the reform. So rather than the opposition is the one, like number 1 and number 3 are quite similar, but don't bring anybody else into the talk, is what I meant. Does that mean you don't plan on working together? Do you think you share no common ground with the other parties? We do. I did not say that. We will do our job no matter what. I don't think the opposition share our values, no. I did not say that. One more question. One of your first acts as president was to sign a campaign finance law allocating public funds by seats in assembly as opposed to number of votes. Is this a deliberate attempt to defund the Communist Party and Blue Deal? Which neither of which reached the election threshold? I've had it with your question, guard. My motivations are not for you to know. Perhaps it was. If left unchecked, those two parties will only make trouble for me. I really screwed up. I screwed up. This one is really, really bad. Well, we gotta deal with it. Perhaps it was. If left unchecked, those two parties will only make trouble for me. That one's gonna turn this against us. Give me a second. There's a call. Oh my god, a scam call. I don't even have a card with that bank. Huh. I really hate these robocalls. Well, back to it. I think, like, go for number 2. My motivations are not for you to know. 4 is the greatest option. 4, well, the thing is, like, if I make it vague, number 2, then I won't give any ammunition, okay? Like, well, there are ammunition, but no extra ammunition. If I give them 4, okay, like you say, you are a dictator. You are not saying that he's not much of a change for the last one. So that's why, like, remember, we have a dictator in the first president, okay, and like it's gonna bring yeah, but there's no good answer, okay? Like, number 1, it shows that we are not open to free media, okay? Number 2, we are just too vague, okay? And like think, oh my god, this guy is scheming. But number 3, it's gonna make the minority party hate us. Number 4, it's basically saying that we number 4 is just thinking that we're in it for ourselves, for a dictator. So at the very least, it gives us plausible deniability and saying that, hey, there's a reason for all of this. So I think, like, my motivation are not for you to know. That's the best, I think. That's enough, ma'am, said one of my guards while nudging the reporter away from me. A path through the crowd was now open, and we quickly made our way to the entrance of the palace. At the same time, a dozen fireworks went off. The entrance was decorated with beautiful ribbons in Sordland colors of white, yellow, and maroon. A large maroon carpet had been rolled down the stairs. We entered the lobby and joined the throngs of people making their way towards the ballroom. Behind me, I heard a familiar voice. There they are, the most beautiful family in Sordland. Uncle Peter! Hi, Uncle Peter. It's great to see you. You two are growing faster than I'm getting wiser. Are you sure you got it any wiser, Peter? You're a sight for sore eyes, Peter, Mr. Vice President. 2 is out. Number 3 is like, you know, like boosts his ego, but then, like, as you can see, all of them are being so friendly. Then, like, this is more of a... Number 1 is more of a joking kind of tone, I think. Are you getting any wiser, Peter? Maybe not. After all, I'm sticking with you. Happy to see a familiar face, Peter. Evelyn? Peter's wife Evelyn approached us and shook our hands with a firmness that belied her delicate features. Congratulations, Anson. I have to say, the results were clear to me from the beginning. Well, this is a hypothetical game. Appreciate it, Evelyn. It means a lot. Thank you. We both worked hard to make it happen. I wish I was sure as you. There's a woman behind every successful man. Like gain favor from the wifey. Wifey. There's a woman behind every successful man. Wow, the gentleman. Monica smiled at me. Number 3. Kid. Monica, how are you? You barely said a word. I'm more than relieved to have this roller coaster ride over with, but of course, now the real work begins. Ah yes, managing the help, planning parties, daily trips to the salon to look your best for foreign dignitaries. Don't be so old-fashioned, Evelyn. I plan to use my power as a first lady to advance the position of women throughout Sordland. Equal rights for our sex are long overdue, wouldn't you say, Anton? As long as you don't burn the toast. Am I right, Peter? Like when we're not respecting them. Up to a point, yes. They mustn't neglect their responsibility to their husband and families. Absolutely, and we'll work together to achieve that. That's my wife, never content to be just a pretty face. 3 and 4 is not bad, but I think 3 is like more respectful. And we'll work together to achieve that. Monica flashed a smile. Diana suddenly jumped in between us and tugged my sleeve. Papa, can we go? I want to see the ballroom. We're having a conversation here, Diana. Yes, it's time. Let's go. Of course, darling. Yes, it's time. Let's go. I think like, of course, darling is better. Let's not delay any longer. Move to the ballroom. We left the lobby and make our way towards the ballroom. Inside, we were yet again surrounded by a noisy crowd, but this time it was the politician who sought to appease the new authority in Sordland. I spent the next few hours shaking hands, joining various conversations, some serious, some superficial, and making speeches. We finally settled down at our table with the veterans as the band started playing some slow jazz tunes. Oof, that was tiring. We have to get used to it. What, you're tired already? Another drink. If I have to shake another hand again. Imagining you scream, wifey, like you yell yum during P4. Wifey. We have to get used to it. What, you're tired already? Another drink. Yeah, as long as it's not number 4. We have to get used to it. Well, suddenly a loud banging noise echoed from the outside of the ballroom, then another one, and another. The musicians stopped playing. Everyone in the room was looking around in confusion. Peter and I turned towards each other, realization dawning on both of our faces. Fireworks? No, gunshots! As soon as Monica heard the word, she lunged from her seat. Okay, shield Monica and the kids. I threw myself on Monica, Diana, and Frank to shield them. Papa, what's happening? I knew it, we never should have gone. Chaos broke as some guests flung themselves under their table and others ran towards the doors. Screaming, Diana burst into tears while Frank tried to comfort her, hiding the fear in his own eyes. Like, you know, my P4, even though like it's low key, Yumi is my favorite. 3 more gunshots rang out loudly. Mr. President, are you alright? Carl Gazer, head of the Swedish police force, was running towards us with 3 more police officers in decorated uniform. They all had their guns drawn. Hey, I like Yumi, so I can't say much. Like P5, like it says maybe that we're going to have maybe 10 party members. So like I haven't seen like the heroines yet, but like Anne is too much of a like a sex symbol a bit. Okay, so I'm a bit bummed. Like she is a nice person, but it's just too obvious they're making it that. As soon as he made it to us and saw that we were unharmed, he let out a big sigh of relief. Thank God. What the hell is going on? Status report. Check the perimeter. 2 would just be too much shouting. Check the perimeter. He turned around quickly to his men. Check the perimeter now. Paul, Jansen, follow my lead. We will bring them to the safe room. He now turned to Monica. Evelyn and children spoke in a softer voice. Do not worry. The situation is now under control. Please follow me. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and the corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did nothing to ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. Yes, Yumi really does have a lot of depth, like it's like on the second playthrough I chose the other one, Ayane, but I do want to know what happened afterwards. Is she gonna, continue? She did say she wanna stop, acting, but I feel sad that she I really want her to be like an actress. Yumi. We promptly followed Carl through the winding halls and corridors of the palace. His men still had their guns drawn, which did not ease the tension. On the way, Peter made an attempt to break the silence. What a fucking night. It's not over yet. Shh, not now, Peter. Can you shut your mouth for a bit? You can say that again. Shh, not now, Peter. Yeah, the kids are there. Carl turned to us in a serious face as we were about to round the corner. Quiet, please. Sorry, I talk when I get nervous. The children were screaming. Well, the daughter is crying. Frank is like, oh my god. Peter, shut up. Even his wife. Carl flipped a switch on the wall and a panel opened, revealing a hidden staircase leading to a large reinforced door. Inside, a set of emergency lights flickered on. The safe room was comfortable and spacious, with expensive-looking leather sofas. Small security monitors on the wall displayed grainy footage of each room in the palace. There was even a boardroom and pantry containing enough provisions to last us months. Monica and Evelyn sat the children down and started wiping their tears. Carl stepped away from us and made a few radio calls. When he was done, he returned to me and Peter. So what's the status? Not the best inauguration ball I've been to. Are we under attack? Who is attacking us? What's going on? So tell me, Carl, do I have plans for a security force? 1 is the best. Like, 4 is just too hostile towards Carl, and he's protecting us. Are we? Of course we are under attack. Number 2 is just too cynical. So number 1 is the best. Carl radio suddenly crackled to life. Every second felt like eternity as he pressed his ear to the receiver. When he fell silent, he turned to us. Good news, we are not in any danger at the moment. The situation has been dealt with and the perimeter has been secured by the guards and the police. He glanced towards Monica, Evelyn, and the kids. If I may, sir. He gestured towards a more private corner of the room and started speaking more quietly. This is what we know so far. We confirmed that 2 people were gunned down in front of the palace. The attacker is one of them, and we have reason to believe he was working alone. Like the thing is, everybody is panicking. So like, if we shouted that, it's gonna ruin the morale of everybody here. Especially, remember, there are kids nearby. Like, situation now, like, calmly, we want to know, but we still can think through properly. Like, if I shout it, then if you say that, like, it's gonna make everybody else more tense. He fired 3 shots at an MP. Ooh, 1 to the head, 2 to the body, instantly killing him. Oh, it's sad, but at least it's just 1 MP. It's sad, but it's only 1. Presidential guards at the palace immediately shot and killed the attacker. He has not been identified yet, and we will require an investigation. The MP that was killed was Bernard Circus. Swordish. If I'm not wrong, he joined Red Youth. So he's on our side? Yeah, we read this yesterday. Swedish government. Wait. He's against us. Well, he's against the party, but I think in terms we might be aligned with him. This is huge, Anton. This will cause lots of problems. A lot of problems. Peter pulled out 2 cigarettes and handed me one. He then turned to Evelyn. I could hear him trying to reassure her that everything was going to be alright. Monica was trying to tend to Diana, and Frank paced the room, mumbling that he should have stayed home. Comfort Monica and the kids. Peter, old friend, what the hell have we gotten ourselves to? Smoke alone. Comfort Monica and the kids. I sat down beside my wife and children. Nothing like this will ever happen again. I'll make sure of it. I don't want to say number one because we don't know. Like, we can't control it. We are safe. I'll make sure that everything's going to be fine. We are safe. I'll make sure everything's going to be fine. We can't be sure of anything, Anton. I lit my cigarette and took a deep drag. I was going to see this through and keep my family safe. At all costs. I crushed the cigarette on an ashtray. Okay, let's read the news first. Sordland today. Rayne not interested in corporate. I did not say that! I did not say that. MP shot, nation in shock. The fact that such a violent capital. Okay. The Red Youth has reported to have promised revenge. This seems like the potential to be a spark that goes so. This is terrible. This is terrible. Read the report from household security increase. Security measures at the capital have heightened after the murder of Bernard Seacars. Mayor Household reports that everything is under control. Security around Maroon Palace has been increased with the combined effort of Household Police Department, the Presidential Guard. Additionally, the entrance procedures to the palace have been revised with advice from security professionals. Police Chief Carl Gazer reported that an investigation has been launched on the murder of Bernard Seacars. Anything else? Anything else? Nothing. Oh well. All sort. Emergency meeting. Situation room. Maroon Palace. The mood in the situation room was gloomy. My cabinet members were gathered to discuss the shooting outside the palace. Lilias presented the initial report. Bernard Seacars was shot dead at 9:03 p.m. in front of the palace gates. He was an elected independent member of assembly and, as you know, a famous communist. She spat at the last word with some distaste. Seriously. Some guards at the scene were 50 meters away and immediately took action by responding and killing the assailant, who was identified as the member of the nationalist organization Young Swords. It's one of our guys that shot. Well, the Taco and Soul era guys. The president and his family were unharmed. Praise God. An MP was shot near the parade. This is absolutely unacceptable. What are the motives for such a horrid act? But why Bernard Seacars? So I wasn't the target? What were the motivations? Our investigators are suspecting a political assassin since the Young Swords have been threatening the communists for some time. This sets dangerous atmosphere where the left versus right political violence of 1920s might spark once again. A return to those days would be devastating. The coups are the reason why our country stagnated for a decade. Nea Morgana, the Minister of Justice, sighed. The Red Youth has condemned the killing but didn't stop there. They promised revenge. I just want to check Nia. Politician and attorney from Southeast region of Bergia serve as the Minister of Justice. An attorney in Dare and taught law in Dare. Although she came from a wealthy family, they lost their assets in the nationalization plan of 1930s. Strong critic of Tarquin's soul programs and vocal about her opposition to the Supreme Court authority. Due to her expertise on Swedish law, she was appointed by Edward Alfonso as the Vice Minister of Law in 1949. During her role as the Vice Minister, Nia credited to the de facto running of the Ministry of Justice under heavy pressure of the solid elements in the administration. She earned her reputation from her fight against corruption in the ministry among protests of the Supreme Court. She is regarded as one of the most experienced attorneys who worked for the government. She eventually gave her support to President Rayne and was appointed as the Minister of Justice and Law in 1953. This will in turn spark further aggression from young swords. The whole cycle started because Bernard Zikas expressed his view: we can't simply look away. Nia had always been one of the only members of the Justice Ministry truly deserving the name. She had survived countless attacks on her character while fighting corruption within the ministry, and rising to power had only compounded her sense of moral duty. Freedom of expression is part of our constitution. We can't have anyone, let alone an MP, for voicing a different opinion. I fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. The millennialist ideology that the Red Youth promotes poses threats to our country too. We should be cautious. If I do this, this is our, in a sense, young sword. I wouldn't say it's a political it's a political affiliation party where the youth party. So if I do this, we're gonna lose a lot of support. Even rather than putting them like that, okay, we should nudge them. We can slowly deconvert them and join to accept other people. The best way is number one. I fully agree. We should protect freedom of speech. Our laws do and for good reason. Silencing voices are only resulting in fear and stagnation inside society. We had that before, and we know very well how it was. This was under Tarquin Soul's era. I hear your concerns. Our police do their best to uphold the rights of our citizens. We will prevent such an act from happening again by making sure our security measures are re-evaluated. Minister of Defense Josef Lancia granted the approval. He towered over the rest of us in full military uniform, his many war medals conspicuously on display. Agreed, ma'am. Our gendarmerie will also help boost security in the rural areas where possible. There might be more to come. We should refrain from making the issue a political one from the start. It will only add fuel to the fire. It is political though, isn't it? You're right. We need to calm the situation. It's early, but will we attend the funeral? It's a given. Number 2. We need to calm the situation. Our government is capable to maintain security. Our job will be to reduce tension. Several police cars rushed past Maroon Palace and everybody went silent. Yeah. Regardless, a full investigation on all parties, involved parties underway. We will find the subversives and punish them soon enough, Mr. President. I will do my best to help coordinate the administrative tasks. Justice will be served and the rule of law will return to this country stronger than ever. Only if we stay vigilant as a country. We must think about the upcoming budget. Is it too soon to judge the conclusion? Recklessness will have a dire consequence. I agree. Internal stability must be maintained. Our security funding might need to be increased. We should not lose our sight of real political goals like constitutional reform. Thing number 1. Reckless acts will have dire consequences. Agreed. We need to be patient until we have full picture. Yushen took notes after checking the latest newspaper and report. He sees that the tension between communists and nationalists will escalate further. It will be very difficult to pass any meaningful change if there's chaos in the country. We will make it through this and deliver our promises. Number 1 and number 2 is very bleak, so we go for number 3. Hell yes, President Rayne. This will be it for today. We will convene again soon. Thank you all and keep us updated. The meeting concluded, and the ministers left the room with concerned look. It was hard to anticipate what would happen next. Bernard Sikras. Night Haven time. Murder at the palace. We heavily condemn this sort of political. This is a very cycle of President Rayne must break with reforms. Anything else? Maybe chapter 2? Few days later. Whew. Probably the funeral. Read the report from Jen. Weapons seized in Cultural Center. Local police forces reported that wardrobe full of heavy military equipment has been seized in Young Sword's Cultural Center in Yen. Regulars of the place denied having any knowledge about the weapons. The owner of the building has been detained along with 13 other people. The police captured 22 rifles and 2 machine guns. The equipment belonged to the Saudis Armed Forces, dated 1929 but kept in very good condition. Oh my god. Communist Party leader suspected of bomb attack. In 11:40 a.m., an unattended bag in front of the NFP office in Volgan was destroyed by the police suspicion of a bomb threat, which were then verified. Upon investigation, the Communist Party leader of Volgan, Milt Hanu, has been arrested in connection to the accident. Volgan. Volgan is just a city. Oops. Okay, it's one over here. Report from Wackland. Smolak warns traders. The latest diplomatic message from the leader of Welland warned us regarding a pathway from the mountains of Bergia that allowed traders to of the state escaping Sordland. President Victor Smolak has demanded that the border security to be increased. He also sent his best wishes about handling the protests in Sordland. Suzerain. Young Sword's Yuk Wing leader dead after terror attack. Local Young Sword wing leader in Suzerain, Yak Toiren, has claimed responsibility for the organized attack in Bloodish Market that resulted in death of 7. His base of operation have been raided, and he was found dead inside with 2 bullet wounds to the back of the head. The scene was organized to make it look like a suicide. We were not able to get information of the location of other ringleaders connected to the terrorist attack. Oh my god. All over the place. Illegal KA-74. Like, I can't do much about things. So whatever I can worry about, I can. I'll do my best. Probably like I screwed up just now. Maybe we should have punished the swords. A cage found with Bromberg made weapons with 46 KA-74s and 2,854 bullets, 12 handguns, 27 grenades, and bomb-making equipment was found in the basement of a abandoned house in Suzerain. No suspects have been detained yet. The investigation is ongoing to determine the origins of the equipment. Police understaffed. Norbel has reported that it's currently too understaffed to deal with the ongoing political violence due to the small size of the police force. Okay, we need to increase the police budget. Working ahead of police Carl Geisner to address the issue. Man, police overburden Astor. We have been receiving reports of lack of equipment and staff from police in Astor. With escalating violence in the city, the police officers have been working 12-hour shifts to suppress the protesters to no avail. The police commissioner Astor has requested reinforcement and extra supplies of tear gas from nearby cities. We'll check River Renewal. Prudent critique straight. The leader of Ignoria has diplomatically critiqued the imbalance between our countries. Concerns were raised about how much more Sordland profits from net trade in comparison of Ignoria. Prime Minister Martin Van Houten requires a fair re-evaluation to existing treaties in the future negotiations. We'll see. Ribery. Illegal firearms found in Communist Party office. The building has been found illegal firearm in the office. Building has been closed. 22 members of the Communist Party of Sordland has been detained. Okay. Report first. Reports of BFF activity in the capital. 2 Bluedish women with the affiliation of Bluedish Freedom Front have been caught in Halsord before they could execute a terror attack at a crowded rally. Both women are listed as wanted criminals and enemies of the state. The arrested women have admitted to their intention to attack the National Front Party rally at the Seoul Square when Kesaro Kepner gave his speech, but rejected any connection to the BFF. Both claim that they were acting alone. Police report that the situation is under control and further investigation are underway. Let's go for dinner first. After a long day at the palace, I'm finally home. I thanked Sergei and walked through the front gates, nodding at the 2 guards as I went by. Even as I turned the doorknob, I could hear Diana rushing down the stairs to greet me. I opened the door and there she was, standing in front of me with expectant eyes. "Papa, you're home!" There's my beautiful princess. Lift and hug her. I lifted Diana and hugged her while trying to put my keys in the tray next to the entrance. She was growing fast. Lifting her up was no longer as easy as it once was. How was school? Where's your mother? Tree's out. How was school? Boring. I like my old school better. I put her down and her expression turned serious. "Papa, are the bad men gone?" It was only one bad man, Diana, and yes, he's gone. Yeah, but she's still like very childish, and she did ran down, so I think she'll appreciate that. It was only one. No, what happened around? You can't answer number 1. I will never let anyone hurt you ever. I will never let anyone hurt you, ever. Your papa took care of everything sounds very arrogant. So number 2 is the best. Okay, papa. Diana dashed down the hallway. See, she's very childish, so I think she enjoyed that. Being carried. "Mama, papa's here." Monica appeared next to the kitchen door. She was wearing an apron and holding a spatula in her hand. "Diana, what did I tell you? Did I tell you? No running in the house." "Yes, Mama." Batman. Monica approached me and kissed me on the cheek. A tantalizing smell wafted from the kitchen behind her. "Darling, you shouldn't have. What do we have a cook for? How was the day, dear?" I'm hungry. When's dinner?" Saying Batman instead of Batman. Oh, Batman. Okay. Batman. I should have put a pause in what I say. But here, this one here, I don't want to answer number 3. It's like not appreciating her. Number 1 is not bad as well. But I think I should go for number 2. How was your day, dear? Terrific. I finally got to do some grocery shopping, just like old times, and I'm making your favorite. That me trying to type quick. Nah, it's okay. You mean... Yes, Zabla! Zabla was one of my hometown specialties. A chickpea stew topped with beef braised in tomatoes and virgin spice, traditionally served in a clay pot. It was absolutely my favorite dish, especially paired with kabish, a potent unfiltered wine from my region. It was my lucky day. What's the occasion? Where's the kabish? Kiss her on the cheek. Kiss! Wifey. I just wanted to cheer everyone up a bit. Her smile faded and she lowered her voice so that Diana wouldn't hear. Especially after what happened at the ball. I'm worried, Anton. For you. For the children. For the country. Diana suddenly appeared next to us. Mama. Yes, sweetheart? I'm hungry. We'll eat in just a minute. Will you help me set the table? Anton, can you tell Frank to come down for dinner? He's been sulking in his room all day. Monica started taking out the china while I headed upstairs to fetch my son. Loud rock and roll music echoed down the hallway from his room. I caught a faint hint of cigarette smoke. Knock on the door. There was no response. Knock on the door again. There was still no response. Bang on the door. The stairway in Frank's room clicked off. Alright. He unlocked and opened the door. What do you want? Turn those food is ready. We need to talk. Turn those records louder next time, won't you? I don't think the neighbors heard. I'm your father and you will respond when I ask you. Very authoritarian. Hand over those cigarettes and join your family for dinner. So number 4. I salivate. Like a Pavlov dog. Hand over those cigarettes and I join your family for dinner. You smoke, don't you? I'm old enough to do what I want. As long as you leave my house, you do as I command. I'm trying to quit that nasty habit. You ought to stop while you still can. I'm trying to quit that nasty habit. You ought to stop while you still can. Frank heaved a sigh, handed me a packet and headed downstairs. I followed him to the living room. At least he, you know, he understands, and gotta give him credit for actually obeying. The table was prepared and Monica was ladling food onto the plates. Come on, have a seat. It won't be tasty if it's cold. As we started eating, the room went quiet. Monica's cooking was delicious as ever. I had the feeling that wasn't the reason nobody spoke. Monica was the first to break the silence. Say, did you know that they refurbished the grocery store? I don't know if you remember the owner. He's been there every day for the past 30 years. Can you imagine doing the same job for so long? What if you were the president for 20 years, for example? Like Tarquin Sol? Honestly, wouldn't that really be so bad? I don't want this country to suffer under another soul. 20 years of this, I'll be dead. Why not? We could live like kings. I don't want the country to suffer under another soul. Agreed. That must never happen again. Anyway, the grocer is really a nice person. He threw in some extra vegetable with my... Frank suddenly slammed his hands on the table, rattling the china. Monica, Diana, and I stared at him. So is this how it's going to be? We're just going to sit like nothing happened? Dad, You could have been killed. Mom could have been killed. Any one of us could have died. Diana lowered lip, started trembling. Monica put her hand on Frank's shoulder. Frank, you know I would never let anything happen to you or Diana, even if it cost me my life. And what would you have us to do? And yet we are still alive. Number 1. Father. Number 1. I know, but still. Can you at least tell me if something's being done about this? It was real close, Dad. You don't need to know the detail. My security assured me that they took the necessary steps. If I say number 3, like it's a rogue shooter, then he'll be saying like, what will happen if the next one is us? The same security that let a person get shot in front of a palace? Frank, listen to your father. If your father say we don't need to worry, then we don't need to. We have to trust him. Monica turned to me. We all had to trust each other. Things calmed down a bit at the table. We finished our food in silence. Frank got up and retreated back to his room. Monica lifted Diana and plopped her in front of the living room TV before returning to the table. She sat down across from me. Anton, he is still young. I know, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. That's what worries me. I made plenty of rash decisions when I was this age. He's had every opportunity I never did. Why is he still acting out? Well, number 2 is quite true because like we did, go into protests and stuff. Okay, I should go with number 1, but there's not much longer we can shield him from the ugliness of the world. Because when we grow up, it was going through like a coup and everything. Okay, so number 2 is true as well, but this is like a moment like we'll discuss with each other and saying that yeah, we need to have a talk kind of moment. He's scared, Anton, and frankly, he isn't the only one. I promise, if there's truly any threat to the family, you'll be the first to know. All you need to worry about is putting more delicious dinner on our table? Not really. We shouldn't say that. Very sexist. I'm worried too, things might escalate. I think I should go with number 1. Like, reassure her. She got up, stood behind me, and massaged my shoulders for a moment before leaving me alone in the dining room. I sat alone at the table and drained my glass of cabbage. Had I been lying to Frank and Diana? Was the threat to my family truly over? Time would tell. Okay, before that, let's check the news. There's been quite a lot of news here. Protests across Sordland. Health sit-ins was broken up by tear gas. Thousands of people, Republic Avenue, Lack Haven. Man, a lot of protests. Capitalized politicians are dead. We went through that. Protests in Grooney. In response to the assassination of Bernard Circus, large rallies have been organized in city centers of Banff and Boren. Okay, never mind. Political chaos. Political violence has surrounded Sordland since yesterday. While officials from the police claim to have the situation under control, protests are turning into riots and violent attacks occurring around the country. NFP and LUS call for protests. Young Swords vandalized shop, NFP office burn. Murder was a method of the past. They are calling for peaceful protest and dialogue instead of violence. Richter unifying message is something we all should listen to in times of... Yeah. Unrest in Sordland. Arbury yesterday morning. Hundreds of nationalists descended from PFJP party office in Arbury after the supporting statement of Franz Richter about Bernard Circus. The office was stoned and an aggressive group and several civilians were wounded in the chaos. I want the tree back there. Farewell Bernard Circus. The wrong economy. Ah, come on. See? Bailing out the businesses? Really, you can't take, the economy seriously. Okay, security briefing on the threats against Sordland. I arrived on the doors leading to the Situation Room. Today's security briefing was arranged in two parts, starting with the internal matters and moving on to the external matters after a short break. The Minister of the Interior, Lilius Graf, and Minister of Justice and Law, Nia Morgna, would join us for the first part, the law enforcement briefing. For the second part, the Ministry of Defense, Iosef Lancia, would join with a few high-ranking officials, including Chief of Armed Forces, Volkan Kruger. I opened the door. Lucian, Nia, and Lilius rose from the seats. Sir, let us begin. Please take your seat. Not at Lucian. I sat down. Everyone in the room sat down except for Lucian. He put his glasses and went through the documents in front of him. Shortly after, he raised his head to address the attendees. Mr. President, ladies, we will kick off today's meeting with the internal security briefing. I am assuming everyone has already been over the agenda. We all have busy schedules, so without further ado, I will jump to our first topic. As we feared, the political atmosphere has worsened. The reports around the country indicate that tensions are rising as we feared. What is the situation of Bernard Circus' investigation? I have received news this morning that the investigation into the murder of Bernard Circus has concluded. Please enlighten us. We need to know. The further investigation testimonies have confirmed the motive and also the events leading up to the shooting. A few days prior, members of the Red Youth initiated a violent attack on Young Sword's local leader in Jen. We believe Young Swords then called for revenge, leading to the death of Mr. Circus. Since he often spoke against Young Swords and nationalist sentiments in the assembly, he was a big target, not to mention his radical communist views. Political violence needs to stop. He had it coming then. Radical? Sordland just lost a great rider for what? Violence needs to stop. That's the first thing. It's everywhere right now. Yes, we kept it at bay for so long, but it seems that there are now new triggers. Leaders handed over the report and pointed at the highlighted section in the document. The investigation revealed a very troubling fact. The funding sources of Red Youth have clear link to United Contana. Oh, are you sure? If I say what does this mean? If I say what does this mean? Like, get the hint. Okay, probably. I think like, are you sure is the best? Like, number 3 is like kind of like escalating. So I think we should go for number 2. Yes, we have found the cash trail. Several Red Youth members with ties to United Cortana have been detained, and the information extracted from them points to preparation for a communist uprising in Sordland. It isn't unusual for the superpowers to influence other nations, but I think in this case it's a little far-fetched. The left lacks popular support in Sordland. Nia eagerly lifted her hand. I motioned for her to speak. I went over the report in detail. It would be wrong to jump to conclusion about a clear foreign interference, yet United Cortana has humanitarian and cultural ties with many countries, including Sordland. I trust Miss Graf's judgment. United Cortana is clearly trying to expand its influence. I don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. Give me a second. Let's read her one first. Several Red Youth members with ties to Cortana have been detained with the information extracted. Now, remember, we don't have anybody to back us up. So if we extend the crisis, this is hard. Remember, our military is not that strong, and if they want, they can push us down. Basically, our situation now is more like, you know, Russia-Ukraine moment, and we are the Ukraine in this case. So like, let's avoid fighting. So I don't want to jump to conclusions immediately. We shouldn't create a crisis with them. Nearly 3 decades ago, they funded General Ricard and tried to establish a communist dictatorship in our country. If it was not for Colonel Stoll, we would have seen real crisis. She took a sip of a glass and water and continued. Our police chief, Carl Grazer, has linked the funding channel to the United Consulate in Banfi. As we all know, the enemy of Sordland are many, but we also have threats inside the country. We need to remain vigilant. If like trees like, what can we do? If it's true as the government, we have all the... It's very authoritarian. We need to remain vigilant. If we give up essential freedoms to purchase temporary security, we deserve neither freedoms nor security. This is debatable, but yes. But we know what more security and surveillance cost this to this country under President Stoll. I think I would like to correct that. Ukraine didn't hold on its own. They hold on its because what happened is that other countries given them firearms. They could not handle it on their own. Okay, if it's not for like, you know, especially the US and the European countries sending firearms to them, they will not last this long. So yeah, that's the one thing I would like to correct. I'm not saying that I want them to lose, but at this, I wish that they would start negotiating for peace. Like the idea of, you know, of a nuclear being used in this war is quite high at this point. Let's not forget that President Stoll, God bless him, brought stability after a long period of bloodshed and chaos. But moving on. Our highest internal threat comes from the estimated 200,000 strong Bluish Freedom Front led by the imprisoned Dowland Arg. They are a banned political organization, now a militant force that is trying to incite racial violence. Founding member of attend. So this part here, give me a second. BFP ban. So BFP stands for what? This is the BFF. BFP is maybe the political party. So if we can talk with the people from the BFP, maybe we can like, you know, like de-escalate the situation. They are okay. We read this just now. They make a lot of noise but have little substance. A barking dog doesn't bite. Are they supported by a Bluish citizen? Are they cooperating with any political organization? 2 or 3. The BFF. Let's ask, are these supported by Bluish citizens? To some extent. Luckily, they couldn't attract a wide audience of Bloods, but they could potentially attract thousands if anti-Blood sentiment spreads in Sordland again. Lydia's pointed to a page 3 in the report. Our intelligence intercepted 2 crates filled with weapons close to Rumburg border. They were filled with military KA-74s. We expect that more of this smuggle in because since a group of loots were caught in with these guns at a checkpoint not far away. Romberg has been acting aggressively in region for a long time. I'm not surprised that they would attempt to weaponize the Bluish people against us. This is worrying, very worrying. Can you make any direct correlation as to blame Romberg? It was expected Romberg would undermine us, but this is too far. Remember, Romberg is the only one that didn't congratulate us. We need to keep level-headed with Romberg. They are looking for reasons to take action. Yeah, I think number 3. Okay, we are looking for reasons to take action. They will play dirty while we play nice. It is a battle we will lose. This is grave news, but we must be careful not to stoke the fires of anti-Bluish sentiment. What is the second most important threat? It is the gang violence that is threatening Nargis and Angland regions. Two prominent organized crime families are at war, and the potential for bloodshed is real. Which two crime families? One is called the Coronelli and the other is Skinner Cartel. They used to be allies until a recent disagreement. Both are active in cities in Narbel and Esport. Lilius? I think like this one here we can ask Lilius. One is just like too dictator like sounding. Lilius, I trust you can handle them. I'm doing my best, sir. Lilius sighed deeply. I shall be honest with you, with our current capability, we may not be able to prevent the further arming of separatists while maintaining order in Bergia, Nargis, and Aglan. If the law enforcement budget isn't increased, I can't be fully responsible for what happened. Our police units are as spread thin as is. Okay, number 1. Like, remember 12-hour shifts and stuff. So in light of this information, I might increase the law enforcement budget. We will rid our country of separatists and violent thugs if we do so. I wish you would stop using the word thugs, Lilius. The real problem is corruption, which is fueling the gang violence and is very likely the reason why these weapons were smuggled in. A higher budget could help us end it. Valid points. Corruption is the root of all evil after all. Corruption is the root of all evil after all. We can look into corruption once the weapons have been found and the gangs have been beaten. Just like previous administration, kicking the can down the road, this is what destroying our institutions. Lilius and Nia were openly scowling at each other. Lilius turned her back to her notes. Well, this concludes the topic for internal portion. Thank you for the update, Mrs. Graf, Mrs. Mogna. Thank you for the overview. Okay, let's move on. Have a good day. Okay, until next time. The 2 ministers left. We took a short break before continuing to the second part. ESF Lancia, along with 3 high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Defense, walked into the room. One of the men was none other than General Kruger, the chief of the armed force. Yosef made his way towards the table while the others stood by the door. Mr. President? Yosef, welcome. If I say that, like, we're totally just like making him angry. So, let's begin. I brought General Kruger with me due to escalation on our borders. General Kruger stepped forward and saluted. He had a strong jaw with a sharp cheekbone. His tall stature, uniform, medals, combined with his deep and intense stare, made him look threatening. He was in his 70s, yet he had a bulky body that was the result of his commando training. Not only was he the second most decorated officer in Sordland, he was also the longest serving. Salute him. He smiled at the gesture and bowed his head in respect. Like, de-escalate, okay? Yosef tapped his. Even if we don't agree to him, but he did serve the country for so long, so have to give him respect. But that doesn't mean we're gonna agree with him. Yosef tapped his foot impatiently. He seemed uneasy with the presence of another high-ranking officer in the room. Gentlemen, thanks for coming to this significant gathering. Let's begin. Okay, took their seats while the rest of the officers stood by the door. Mr. President, the situation at the western and northern borders towards Romberg is very tense. We are observing deployments of division class. Closer to our border. Romberg has been acting increasingly expansionist in the past decades and also interfered in Agnolia, but now they have turned their sights on us. What is the current strategy? I trust the capability of our armed forces to handle any threats. He has been saying that we need more budget. Current strategy. Patrolling close to the borders with our border forces keeping army reserve divisions near. It seems like they want to increase the pressure of both externally and internally. Mr. President, if I may. Please, General. The picture is becoming clearer. The latest information from the interior and weapons caches now there is an active military buildup close to our borders. The entire situation was analyzed by our general staff, and our prediction is a future territorial incursion by Romberg. The threat is exaggerated. Let them come, we'll give them hell. I think number 2 is best. Maybe. I'm not sure. With all due respect, I think you are underestimating what we could place. I require an increase in military budget to enlist more soldiers. Only then we can stand strong against our enemies. The enlarged armed forces will hold them at bay. Vulcan is right. We do need an increase in military budget, although we don't see exactly eye to eye on how to spend the budget. I have concern about Romberg too. We need strong allies to withstand superior powers. They are our nemesis. What I'm hoping now is that we can be with Agnolia and we join forces to repel them. That is an understatement. Times are changing and war is coming, Mr. President. Whether we like it or not, we must be prepared. During the election, you said nothing about focusing on our military. I ask you to reconsider this and increase the military budget. The future and safety of Sordland is in your hands. Maybe you are right. Defense of our nation is more important. I know you will understand, Mr. President. Our forces will crumble under decrease and Romberg would be much more compelled to exploit our weakness. Our country hasn't fallen to any invading force for 200 years. You cannot let it happen, Mr. President. It sounds like it will be attacked. But remember, we're trying to go through a diplomatic route, but Romberg is not talking us from the very beginning. We should find regional allies like Volkston or Lesbia to deter Romberg. There are several options on the table. Romberg wouldn't attack any nation allied with any superpower. Sordland must stand on its own 2 feet and be able to defend itself. These options should be considered. I was hoping gaining the Agnolia, getting them on Agnolia, well, the country to the north to join us, and maybe the one south to us, okay, to create a wall, without relying on the superpower and not standing on our own 2 feet, in other words, a union. They could have been considered, but why ponder to others when we can solve this issue ourselves? We have no true friends outside these borders. Everybody fell silent when a soldier entered the room and let Iosef Lancia know that a call had come through from the ministry. Excuse me, Mr. President. Left to answer. Several minutes later, he entered the room again. His expression had changed. There has been Rumburgian military activity close to the Narbel border. I just spoke with the local commander. Vulcan, we should go to the ministry and get further updates from our branches. Understood. Raising military readiness is the first call of action. If there is truly an extraordinary attempt, we will relay it to you immediately and wait for your further orders, Mr. President. Make sure they know we are observant and ready. Go and show them the might. Remain calm. Make sure not to escalate things further. Nobody wants a war. We will exercise our utmost caution, Mr. President. Hail, Sordland. Hail! They saluted and left the room. Romberg was already testing us, and the reports of the interior indicate interference inside our borders. Communist, nationalist, bluish rebels. Romberg expansionism? What was next? Sordland had always been a key piece in the chessboard of the global rivalry between Acacia and United Cortana, but in recent years there was no such aggression from Romberg. Not at these levels at least. All it takes is one tiny spark to start the flames of war. Yeah, we need to be really careful. This is bad. Real bad. The phone rang. Romberg had decided to close their consulate in Lackhaven. Maybe that's a sign that they're gonna attack. Okay, let's take a look. Infrastructure project. Finally. We hope the underhaul construction wins a bid. We'll learn later. Gang violence claimed young girl's life. 15-year-old girl was shot dead in Narbel as she walked her dog for... Oh, come on. 15-year-old was shot 4:45. Okay, without a doubt, I think we need to increase the budget for the police. I was there when 1927. After the bombing of Polish civilians to attack them. We saw this great nation fall into bloodshed. We thought that we learned our lesson from our new republic, but one man's idea became the idea of the state. This is when Saul is, you know, trying to quell the uprising. If economies support them, then it's bad. Geopolitical. Romberg closes consulate. Let's see. Order. Nationwide revolt. Diplomacy. Diplomatic pressure. I think, like, whether we like it or not, we need to increase our police budget. Okay? Military... the military, I can't say much. Okay? I'm trying to avoid. United Cortana Embassy helped protester. Around midnight, Red Youth protesters clashed with the Young Swords at the Vesort city center, resulting in many injuries. The counter-protesters were cornered in front of the United Cortana Embassy after they were pushed back by the police. The embassy opened its doors and Red Youth members escaped inside. Police are still waiting outside of the building to return for the return of Red Youth members. Acacia develops first ICBM. Intercontinental ballistic missile. Has been estimated capability to accurately destroy target thousands of kilometers range. Acadian missile capability have significantly increased, posing a threat to territories that are further away from western Maricopa. React to the unrest. React to the situation. The political situation around the country has escalated. Chief Strategist has prepared several actions. Expand the police by deploying all recruits in training. I think we need to, like, if we call for restraint, that's not gonna do much. Visit affected town in person. Well, there's too many. We can't go to all of them. Label all protesters as raiders. This is just gonna make them more in trouble. So I think like we have to expand. Remember that the police are quite thin and they are running 12-hour shifts. So I think like we have to do this. President Rayne deploys more police. Radical. Rayne adds fuel to the fire. Then what do you want us to do, you idiot? Let them just be? Take off all the police? Are you dumb, radicals? End of day at Maroon Palace. Office. It was late in the evening. Maroon Palace was finally getting somewhat quiet when I returned to my office at the top. I eagerly approached my chair and sprawled on it. It had been an exhausting day, just like every day since I took office. This smells like a potential issue. Lean back and relax. Okay, leaned back in my chair and took a deep breath. Holsworth's skyline was daunting but beautiful. I glanced downward out the window and saw Sergei and the guards waiting for me by the main gate. I heard a couple of knocks on the door. My secretary Livia Sinu entered. Mr. President, Mr. Tuss is here to see you. You had a meeting with the Lauderberg spokesman. I'm sorry for not giving you proper notice. Don't worry about it. Do your job properly next time. Do you expect me to keep track of everything myself? I was just about to leave. Can we postpone the meeting? I think number 3. But he's already here, Mr. President. What do you want me to tell him? After a moment, Mr. Tuss swaggered into the room. I met Sordland's most prominent businessman once or twice, but never alone. He had large jowls, blindly shiny shoes, and the air of someone who was used to getting his way. Walter Tuss is a millionaire. Okay, Walter Tuss, we read this last time. Anything to drink, Mr. Tuss? Water? Whiskey? Cognac, preferably from before you were born, sweetheart. I'll check the supply room. Livia backed out of the office, shooting at me an apologetic look as she did. Walter hung up his hat, which I could see he was lined with mink. He fixed me with a long, hard stare, then broke into a toothy grin. Good evening, Mr. President. I'm here to congratulate you. We both sat down. My business partners and I wish you a successful term as the leader of our nation. Thank you, Mr. Tusk. I had no chance to say this at the ball with all the panic, but we were very much looking forward to working with you. I think the Radical seems like the most sort of sensational tabloid paper that you can find at a supermarket checkout line, like the Globe or the National Enquirer. Yeah, the thing is that, like, there's so many, unrest and the police are tired, okay? Like, the most thing that stood out to me is the 12-hour shift, okay? So, what do you want me to do? Take off more the police? That's what, I feel like I like to look at them when to see the worst outcome, but the worst possible outcome of that choice. But the way that they portrayed the last one is just a bit too much, to a point that it is just comical. We are very much looking forward to working with you. Likewise. I'd like to build a profitable relationship between us. That being said, there are some concerns of mine and the people I represent, which I would like to take this opportunity to clear up. What are the concerns? The ruined state of the economy of Sordland had influenced everyone. The recession hit all of us hard. Walter pulled a box of cigars from his jacket. I have bought this from Lesbia, the best cigar in the whole continent. Would you like to try one? You go ahead. I don't want to smoke. If I see like 3, I'd rather not have you smoke it. It's just a bit too, like, hostile. You go ahead. I don't want to smoke. Walter grabbed himself a cigar and lit it. He looked out toward the city scenery and as he puffed away. I heard that you purchased a stock from Armandine Industry in Arcadia. Smart buy. They are developing new gadgets that are going to be profitable. If risk comes reward, I expect a very good return on investment. Spend money to make money, they say. Let's see if it holds true. Yeah, with risk comes reward. I expect a good return on investment. You have keen eye for business. I will buy a couple of thousand of shares to expand my portfolio. Hope the investment pay off for both of us, Mr. President. His eyes wandered for a moment. The assassination and troubles between the left and right are worrying, but the recession is the root cause of all of these issues. For us, it is worrying to see that you have decided to promote a planned economy. We need more government control to fix the economy. Yeah, we need more government. Like, we can't say we don't like you to smoke, but then like he was like, oh, he's hostile towards me. I don't want to be friends with him, but I don't want him to be my enemy as well. Do you really though? Our government is already overburdened with managing several key industries with the loss of efficiency. He leaned towards the chair. The highway investment was a good call, but there was more to gain in the high-speed rail, especially for business logistics. The Anglan region was in dire investment. Our goal was to focus on the needs of businesses. People, not businesses. The intention of the administration is to boost the economy. I think number 3. Yeah, to boost the economy. The right intention for sure. We can be close allies. The group can help you get Sordland out of the recession, which will be the key problem to solve in your term and could even determine your re-election. Let's start with a gesture of goodwill. Soon the investment project contract will be awarded to one of the 3 main contenders. He pulled a check out of his pocket and slid it towards me on the table. My personal bank details were listed on it, with a deposit of 500,000 Sordish Rand ready to be transferred. This was 6 months of a president's salary. If the contract is somehow awarded to Underhall Construction, they would not only work hard but deliver to do it on time. I told you when the economists post something, we should. We'll be extra careful with that. What do you think, Mr. Rayne? Wouldn't that be good? He put his index fingers on the check. There was a noise by the door. Livia Suno was standing there, holding a tray with a bottle and 2 glasses. I'm so sorry, Miss Tuss. All I could find was 1942 Savigny. I hope that's acceptable. She quickly put the tray on my desk and walked out. Tuss eyed her as she left. Remind me to visit your office more often. Now, where were we? Do we have a deal? Nope. Not yet. We both know you can do better than that amount. No, I will make my own decision. The thing is, like, without a doubt, like, I'm not saying that, you know, of course we're not gonna take bribe, but there's a chance that that company could be good. There's a chance that the company could be good. Like, if I just say, like, did you just try to bribe the president of Sordland? I refuse. It's like, I think I'll prefer, you know, to go with number 3. Okay, if they're good, they're good. Okay, that's it. Walter sighed and pulled the check away, putting it in his pocket. Did you think I was just another corrupt politician? If this is what you came here, then we are done here. Be careful, Tuss, or you will have to make your decision in a prison cell. Number 4. Yeah, recession, like, my idea is, first of all, to quell the violence right now. Okay, so that we can after we quell the violence, we can focus more on the economy. Okay, and when we deal with the economy, then we have more budget for military. This one here, I'll go with number 4. Okay, like, he's used to be in charge, and like, hey, be careful, I might put you in prison. Like, let him know who's boss. I think we started off on the wrong foot here. My goal was to begin a mutually beneficial partnership, nothing more, I assure you. Well, I excuse myself then. Thank you for your time. Oh, I almost forgot. Please say hello to Mr. Coronti for me. He smiled. Have a good evening, Mr. President. Walter stood up, grabbed his jacket, and made his way towards the door. He closed the door behind him. I gathered my things and prepared to finally head home. As I walked out, I noticed Livia is still there, covering her typewriter for the evening. If I may be so bold, Mr. President, did you accept his offer? Of course I didn't. How could you even ask me that? The other girls have told me about all kinds of dealings that went on during Alfonso's administration. I wasn't sure if you are that kind of president. I'm most certainly not. She and I took a moment to look over the lights of the city before heading to the elevators. Okay, I think like we've been here for over 2 hours, so it's a good time to stop. So I'll continue this on Monday, okay? Like, remember, this is going to be my weekday, stream, okay? Like, right now, weekday is going to be this, and then in the morning, and then at night I'll be playing Yakuza Kiwami 2. And weekend morning I'll be playing Persona 5. Tomorrow I'll start the stream, a bit late. Usually I'll start it at 9, okay? But I'll start at 10 because I have things to do early on in the morning. Hopefully nothing goes wrong and I can start on time. I feel like in the next stream we're probably gonna be dealing with the internal affair first. So yeah, that should be our number 1 key. Like, if you can't control the violence, then soon it will come to us. So that's what I'm afraid of. So with that said, I'll end the stream here, and I'll give me a second. Oh boy. Okay, another prank call. I see. Another call or something like that. But never mind. Okay, so with that said, I'll end the stream here, and I'll see you next time. Okay. So hopefully the next one it won't be this tense. Today's a lot of things to take in. So with that said, I'll end the stream now. Okay, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.